Hello, my name is Joshua Music, and I want to congratulate each of you for being on this video here today. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover a 1, 2, 3 step-by-step system for number one, ensuring that for the rest of your life, you are going to be in a financial position to receive top-notch health care that retains your dignity and quality of care. Secondly, I'm going to show you how to be confident that over the course of your retirement, you are going to create beautiful, lasting memories with your family because you had the foresight to put a plan in place that provides you or your spouse plenty of money to live on no matter what health conditions life throws at you. And third, the best part of this is I'm going to teach you how to do all of this without throwing thousands of dollars down the drain by buying outdated, broken down long-term care insurance. Now, I pray to God that a long-term care catastrophe never happens to any of you. But once you learn and implemented just one of the strategies that I'm going to be showing you today, you'll sleep well at night knowing that you plan wisely for your future. You'll never have to worry about blowing through your entire nest egg on a long-term care need or leaving your spouse penniless. You won't have to worry about ruining the lifestyle of your children or your grandchildren because they were forced to be your caregivers. And you won't have to be afraid that you'll end up a ward of the state someday, broke, with no money left, and without control of your healthcare choices. Now, let me ask you a question. You probably have a home, right? Maybe you own it free and clear. Maybe you still have a little bit of a mortgage left on it. But there's one thing that I'm confident of, and that is you most definitely pay homeowners insurance on it. Why? Well, just in case a catastrophe happens. So I want you to picture your home, and I want you to think about the value of your home. Maybe it's $200,000, maybe it's worth $2 million. Whatever it is, if your home burnt down and you didn't have insurance to cover it, you'd be 100% out of pocket on rebuilding it. All the hard work that you did for the last 30 years paying it off, all that time and money that you invested into it would simply vanish. And in fact, it might even put a big strain on your retirement nest egg and your retirement plans if you had to pay out of pocket for a brand new house. Well, did you know that you have a 1 in 1,250 chance that your home is going to burn down? 1 in 1,250. That's it. That's less than 1/10 of 1%. It's a tiny number. And yet every year you pay for the insurance because your house burning down would affect your lifestyle. It would affect your spouse's lifestyle, and it'd probably majorly affect your nest egg. Now, what I'm going to say next is going to shock you, and you're going to have a hard time believing it for yourself, but it is a reality, and it's 100% true. All the numbers and statistics that are coming out by the government and other leading health institutions are saying that someone who makes it to the age of 65 has more than a 50% chance they'll have a long-term care need in their lifetime, either home health care or a nursing home. That's a high number, okay? Even if you cut it in half, okay, so that's still 1 out of 4, or a 25% chance that you're going to need care. That's a far greater risk than you have of your home burning down, right? And my question is, what have you done to prepare for it? Did you realize that in this country there are over 5.8 million people who live with Alzheimer's, and every 3 seconds someone is diagnosed with dementia? It's true, and it's very sad. But the reality is, for every 2 people watching this video, 1 of you will need care. And if you want to be able to retain control of your health care and your assets and not put a major strain on your family's lifestyle, I'm glad you're here because I'm going to teach you some little known strategies for doing just that. Now, who are these strategies for? These are for those of you who have built a retirement nest egg or a good high income cash flow that you want to protect. If you have a $50,000 nest egg and live off primarily $1,000 a month in Social Security, this video is probably not right for you. The strategies, the products, and the plans we'll be talking about probably aren't going to be a fit for you. So no hard feelings if you want to log off right now. But if you have between $500,000 up to $2 or $3 million saved for retirement, I'm going to be revealing to you some of the top strategies that you can start implementing right now, today, to protect your lifestyle and your nest egg. And there's one thing that can wreak havoc on your life and on your money, and that is a long-term care catastrophe. So if you're in the camp that you don't want your entire nest egg left, or even a large chunk, left to a long-term care facility, I'm going to show you how to avoid that. Now, if you've looked at traditional long-term care insurance before and didn't buy it, I completely understand. I'm with you. Everybody, including myself, has 2 main problems with long-term care insurance. Number 1, if you never use it, you wasted all that money for all those years that you paid for it. So if you paid into it, and 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 then you just died, the insurance company gets to keep all that money. It's not a great proposition, in my opinion. Number 2, it's expensive, and the premiums go up all the time, on average about 8% a year. So what happens is people buy it and they pay for it for a while, and eventually the premiums go up to a point where they're forced to drop it because they can't afford it. Okay, so I'm with you. I understand where you're coming from, and I agree. I don't like long-term care insurance. That's why I'm excited. Several years ago, Okay, I was exposed to solutions that make those two issues simply vanish. To date, our company has helped about 2,000 people all over the U.S. plan for long-term care catastrophes using some unique outside-the-box strategies. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Joshua Music. I'm a certified financial planner, and although I travel quite a bit with my wife, I call Kansas City my home. I first entered the retirement planning field about 10 years ago when I started a retirement planning firm with my dad. His name is Marvin. Together, we've been able to help about 3,500 families across the United States build comfortable retirements. But I want to tell you a quick cautionary story about financial and insurance products and why you need to be leery of what you hear. Okay? When we first entered the industry, it seemed like many of the retirement advisors I ran across were constantly searching for the next top product with the next biggest sizzle. And they'd hammer out a slick sales pitch, and then they'd go around and find retirees and talk them into buying these products. And unfortunately, very on, I fell prey to some of their smooth talk. I sold a few clients less than the best products, and so I had to return red-faced and rescue them out of those products. And I'm telling you, that put a very, very sour taste in my mouth about insurance and financial products. And so ever since then, I've made it my habit, my passion to ask deeper and deeper and deeper questions and find better and better solutions. And over the last decade, I'm happy to say we found a handful of good solutions, and we've got a lot of fulfillment in helping people implement them to protect them and their families. Okay, so fast forward to Long-Term Care Architects, a firm that I founded beside Eric DeGraff and Brennan Barkade, a couple of friends of mine, and our focus has been 100% on helping families protect their nest egg and their family's lifestyle from a long-term care catastrophe. And there are 5 powerful concepts that we've come up with that we use to design a plan to protect your family. Now, I don't have time to go over all of them today in this short video, but what I want to do is I want to give you an introduction to the 2 most popular strategies that we use. And once we get to the end of it, I'll tell you how you can learn about the other 3 and how to know which strategy, if any, is right for you. So let's dive right in. I'm going to share the first concept by telling you a story about Bill and Jackie. Bill and Jackie came to me, and they recently had a long struggle with Jackie's dad who needed long-term care. Now, Jackie's dad, Ron, had saved several $100,000 for retirement, but that was no match, okay, for when he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's at the young age of 76. Okay, so to the tune of about $8,500 a month, Ron and his wife had to pay for their care. So in about 4 years, their retirement savings were gone. Ron went on Medicaid. He lasted about another 12 months, and then he passed away. And now his wife is penniless and only has Social Security to live off of. So while Jackie and Bill, they came to me and they saw this, they had kind of a front row seat to what was going on with their parents. And naturally, they didn't want to have the same experience. Okay, so they came to me and said, hey, if we can afford it, we would like to get long-term care insurance, but we really hate the idea of wasting money on something that we may never use. Okay, so let me just quickly describe for you the plan that we designed for them. So incidentally, Bill and Jackie had over $1 million in their IRAs and 401ks. Okay, and they also had about $200,000 sitting in money market cash savings accounts, making pennies every year. Okay, it was kind of their rainy day emergency fund. And here's exactly what they did and exactly what we told them to do. But I got to warn you, they didn't like this at first. In fact, they almost walked out. But once they learned about it and understood, they grew to see, hey, this is actually a really smart idea. Okay, so they ended up loving it. First, I told them to take about half of their money that was sitting in the money markets accounts, okay, about $100,000, and put it into a chassis that would keep most of it liquid and available and grow it a little bit, kind of like a CD, but if it was ever needed. This repositioned asset would provide a massive amount of long-term care coverage should they need it. Okay, this is what I like to call an asset-based long-term care plan. So let's walk through this. Bill and Jackie put in $100,000. That's a lot of money, I realize it. But instantly, day one, the plan created a $189,000 joint life death benefit, meaning if they go out and they get hit by a crazy texter out here on the highway, their children get $189,000 tax-free back. Okay. Secondly, this $100,000 got for them $5,500 per month of long-term care coverage per person. Okay, so let's say you do a plan like this. If one of you is on claim, that's $66,000 a year of extra income. If both of you need long-term care, that's $132,000 a year of extra income to offset long-term care expenses. So $5,500 a month per person, or up to $11,000 per month if they both needed it. Now here's why we love this, and here's what most people do. We can add a rider. Okay, and I know a rider is a fancy term, but basically by adding a rider is something that enhances a policy. So we can add a rider to this policy. It costs about $145 a month per person. Okay, and they can turn that $5,500 a month of long-term care coverage into lifetime unlimited benefit. So they could both be on claim for 7 years. Okay, and yes, this $100,000 that they invested into this plan will easily pay out over $900,000 for long-term care expenses. Okay? So turning $100,000 into $900,000 of long-term care coverage is amazing. It's truly a lifetime unlimited long-term care benefit. And hey, if you never use it, their children got $189,000 tax-free back. Meaning, if they die at any time, whether that's a week from now or 20 years from now, and if they don't use the long-term care coverage, their children get that almost $200,000 as an inheritance, tax-free. So I hope you see how that solves the problem of them not wanting to throw their money down the drain. If they do need the long-term care, they can tap it somewhere between $66,000 to $132,000 of extra income per year. And if they don't need it, their kids get that money back. Oh, and the best part is that $100,000 they put in, it builds cash value, and a large portion of that remains fully liquid. Okay, so if Bill and Jackie change their mind down the road, fine. They can come and grab money right back out of it and do something else with it. Now, I doubt they will, because this can literally turn into, $500,000, $1 million worth of long-term care coverage if it's ever needed. Okay, but they'd be crazy to cancel it. But if they want to, they can. So this is a solution that works very well for families who have a large amount of cash or other money that's available that they want to put there to protect against long-term care. Okay, it's repositioned, or what we call asset-based long-term care. So the next concept, this is similar, but it comes with a lot less sticker shock. So let me show you a plan that we built for Bob and Michelle just a couple of weeks ago. So Bob and Michelle had sizable IRAs, around $650,000, and they wanted to protect that money from a long-term care catastrophe. And because Bob's mom had been in a facility for a long time, Bob was afraid that he would need long-term care coverage at some point in the future. And he didn't want to spend through the bulk of their retirement assets and leave his wife Michelle to live for another 5, 10, 15, 20 years without any retirement funds. After all, women do tend to outlive men. But just like Bill and Jackie, they'd always resisted long-term care insurance because they didn't want to waste money on something they never use. So here's what we helped design for them. Every year, they're going to move $8,635 out of their IRAs and fund 2 separate life insurance policies, one for each, with a long-term care benefit rider attached to it. Now, I realize some of you watching this just stiffened at the thought of buying life insurance. After all, some of the gurus out there say you don't need life insurance in retirement. But bear with me. By adding a long-term care rider to this policy, it allows Bob and Michelle to use the death benefit for long-term care coverage if they ever need it. So very simply, what we did is we set up 2 permanent, fixed premium life policies that gave them each $250,000 death benefit day one. And if they ever need it, this is the best part, they can tap that policy for up to $10,000 a month for long-term care coverage. And that $10,000 per month can be used for a facility or can be used for the home, for home health care. It's very simple, really. Just think of it as an extra income stream, an extra asset to offset the increases in expenses, should you need it for long-term care. And the best part is they're not throwing away money on long-term care insurance, right? Together, they're funding $500,000 in extra assets by putting $8,500 out of their IRA column over into the tax-free life insurance column. They're building $500,000 asset that's either going to be used for life insurance, for the kids, for the spouse, whoever it is, or it's going to be used for long-term care benefit. So if Michelle needs care, she's got $250,000. If Bob needs care, he's got $250,000. A pot that can be used up to $10,000 a month, they can draw that down. So we don't know how that money is going to be used. We just know it's going to be used somehow. And truly, if we strip away all these numbers, all these concepts, what this does is, number one, it keeps you in control of your healthcare choices. Instead of being forced onto Medicaid and at the mercy of a state budget committee who's trying to cut costs, right? Secondly, it ensures that the entire nest egg isn't going to just go to pay a nursing home bill and your spouse is left penniless without any money once you're gone. So all this is really very simple to do. It's obviously a very smart way to plan for this. We do it all the time. We can show you how to do this simply and how to build your plan. Of course, I do get pushback. And here's why. People think, I'll do it later when I have more time, or I'll do it when I'm a bit older, or I'll do it after X. Let me tell you one last story. Mike and Christine, I first met them, designed their retirement plan 3 or 4 years ago when they were 64 and 65. Mike was a retired attorney. Christine had always been a stay-at-home mother, raised 5 children, and together they saved up about $600,000 in retirement assets, and they were just getting ready to retire when I met them. Well, like most folks, they kind of resisted long-term care insurance their whole life up to that point. And I imagine their belief was, oh, it's a waste of money, or it will never happen to me, or maybe we'll do it when we get older. About 6 months ago, out of the blue, I received a text from Christine, and I'm going to read it to you. She said, "Hi Joshua, you recently helped both me and my husband with our finances and retirement plans. Very recently, Mike completely forgot a very important decision that we made about our son John, and he is now forgetting conversations overnight. It has been both frightening and frustrating. I've expressed concerns to Mike, and he sees nothing wrong. He doesn't see what my son, my daughter, and I have seen. I made an appointment with a counselor yesterday and expressed some concerns regarding Mike's memory, and they believe we have cause for concern too. Please make sure to keep me fully in the loop on any financial decisions should Mike contact you in the future. Thanks, Christine." Now remember, Mike is 68, retired attorney, very successful. But boy, oh boy, how they wish they had cared enough to plan back then. Back when I first met them for their future, instead of putting it off, instead of hoping and believing, oh, it will never happen to me. Okay, but they didn't plan, and they just hoped. And now their $600,000 that they had in retirement savings could obviously very easily get eaten up by $8,000 to $10,000 a month going to a memory care unit. It's so very sad. Obviously, Christine now wishes they'd planned. And I don't tell you all this to scare you, just to bring the reality, a little bit of story of what's going on out there. I mean, look around. There are long-term care facilities and assisted living places going up everywhere. It's very real. And I want you to at least know about the options you have to take control of your dignity, your health care, your family, and your nest egg. Now, remember I said there are 5 primary concepts or strategies that we use. We just covered 2 of them, but there are several more unique things we can do. For instance, if you have a variable annuity that hasn't been growing well, we can take annuities and reposition them to create huge tax-free long-term care plans. If you have any current life insurance or fixed annuities, we can often leverage those into tax-free long-term care benefits. We can use IRA money and utilize that without paying all the taxes up front. All sorts of creative ideas depending on your situation. To get a little lengthy for this video, but we'd be happy to walk through them on a case-by-case basis. Okay, so at this point you might be wondering, what is my next step? Well, there are several things that will happen when you choose to do something about this. Number 1, you're going to feel confident that your family is prepared for the future. Number 2, you're going to sleep well at night knowing that your life savings is not going to go to a care facility. You're not going to leave your spouse penniless, and your children will receive your money when you're gone instead of a care facility getting it. Number 3, you'll have peace knowing that your health care will be in your hands, not in some faceless state director's hands who needs to cut costs. You'll know with certainty that you'll have control over your health care. If you want, you can stay home, or if you need to go to a facility, you'll be able to do that. You can be confident your children and your grandchildren won't be forced to put their life on hold because they had to be caregivers for you. Okay, number 5, you'll always be able to retain your dignity. No family member is going to be changing your diapers or spoon feeding you. You'll never have to worry about a long-term care need ever again. Now, I pray to God that a long-term care catastrophe never happens to any of you, but hey, because you're choosing to prepare instead of risk it, your assets, your income, your spouse, your children, your grandchildren, most importantly, your health care and your lifestyle is secure. It's taken care of. Everything's going to be okay. So here's my offer for you today. There are many solutions and many ways to prepare for this in the marketplace today. As I said, my company has helped about 2,000 families plan for this. Yes, you can go out all by yourself and figure out all this on your own, or you can let us help you. We've seen everything under the sun, and there probably isn't a situation that we haven't run across. The only people we can't help are those who expect to get all this for nothing. In other words, if you come to me and you want a plan for you and your spouse that gives you $10,000 a month of long-term care insurance or long-term care benefit, and with all the money back to your kids if you never use it, and you only want to spend $100 a month on it, there's probably not much we'll be able to do. However, if you have decent-sized IRAs or a sizable chunk in a savings account, or maybe you have extra income every month or every year that you're not spending, we would be more than happy to help you learn how to reposition those assets and leverage a small portion of your nest egg to protect your future. So what I'd like to offer you today is a long-term care strategy session. This obviously isn't a 60-minute high-pressure sales call. This call will last anywhere from 10, 15, 30 minutes, and I'll ask you some easy questions, learn a little bit about your health situation and your financial situation. Okay, now I'm based out of Kansas City. If you're in Kansas City, we'd love to have you come to our office and meet you face to face. But if you aren't in Kansas City, we can simply talk over the phone to get started. And during this call, we'll actually be able to design a plan and see what options you might have. By the end of the call, you're going to know if whether or not securing coverage even makes sense for you. You'll know the top 1 to 3 strategies that are available for you. We'll walk through the solutions and you'll understand exactly what your options are, what it costs, and what you can do to wisely protect your family, healthcare, and assets from a long-term care catastrophe. So here's the deal. I'm a financial planner. I manage assets. I do a lot of things. And I usually charge about $200 for a financial planning consultation depending on how long it takes. However, if you go to our website, I've cut the long-term care strategy session cost to a flat $100. But as a special offer, for those of you who put in the time and watch this video to the very end, like you have, I open up 10 slots and 10 slots every month to do completely free, no-cost long-term care strategy sessions. I do this because I feel like you've already come a long ways and you've learned a lot. So when we do meet or talk for a strategy session, you're already educated. And yes, we'll have to review, talk about your specific situation, but we're not starting from ground zero. And if you end up on a call or in my office after watching this, I know that means you're serious about doing something. You're not wasting my time or yours. I also know if you see something that you like and we design a plan, you get approved for it, and you fund it, I'll get paid on the back end by the insurance company or the financial company who backs the plan that we design. So no one's working for free here. Okay, so to reiterate, because I stay very busy with a lot of other things, I'm only able to offer 10 no-cost long-term care strategy sessions every month. Once the 10 slots are used up, you're going to have to wait until next month. So take advantage of this offer, be amongst the first 10, make sure you schedule your strategy session sooner than later. So here's what you need to do right now to take advantage of the offer. On the page, you should see a button that allows you to schedule a free strategy session. Go ahead, click on the button right now and you'll be able to schedule a call or a face-to-face meeting with us to go over your situation and learn how to design the very best plan, the very best solution for you. You'll be able to see our calendar and pick out a time that is convenient for you. Remember, these appointments will be done either virtually, in Kansas City in my office, or over the phone. Just find a spare half hour in your day. Okay, and let's talk about your future. So go ahead, quickly click the link, book your strategy session. Remember, there are only 10 available each month, and my schedule tends to fill up fairly quickly. Now I want to stop here, and I want to encourage you regarding one other thing. You've come a long ways. Congratulations. But the sad truth is a few people stop right here. Unfortunately, they don't do anything with this information. They might decide they're going to roll their dice with their retirement. Okay, or they're going to say, oh, I'll get to it later. And if you decide to do that, that's your choice. But the risk you run is twofold. Okay, first, something could easily change in your health overnight. And all of a sudden, all the ideas you learned about today get thrown out of the window and it's too late. You're uninsurable. Secondly, and this one is very real, I deal with this every month, products and solutions change. I've been in this industry for a decade now, and you know what? Products are always getting a little bit worse. They're always getting a little bit more expensive, okay? So if you book a call, we figure out a plan right now, okay, and don't do anything, 12 months from now, guarantee you that price is going to go up. Number one, because you got older. Number two, because everyone's living longer and these insurance companies know, hey, we've got to price our products a little bit higher. Okay? So if you want to get something locked in right now, now is the time. And when you've done this, I'm telling you, you won't need to worry about a long-term care catastrophe ever again. You're going to be confident that your healthcare will be excellent. You're going to get to stay at home if a long-term care event arises. You're not going to burn through your nest egg. You're going to sleep well at night, knowing that if, God forbid, it happens, you're not going to leave your spouse penniless without any money. Your healthcare, your family, your assets, everything's going to be taken care of. So all you have to do is go ahead, click on the button to be taken to our online calendar. You can schedule a call at your convenience or a face-to-face meeting at our office, but we'd love to help you explore your options and to help design a plan to protect you and your family. Okay, so go ahead, book a strategy session, and I look forward to talking with you.